This video is going to talk about locking down a D2L quiz to limit the amount of access students have to that quiz. Now, I want to start off by saying that there really is no surefire way to lock down any kind of online quiz, which is why I recommend using low stakes online quizzes rather than high stakes ones. But there are some ways you can limit how many times students can access a D2L quiz, and we're going to talk about those in this video. The first thing you can do is make sure you're only allowing one attempt per student. This is the default setting for a quiz, but you can double check it first by editing the quiz, then checking on the assessment tab and making sure attempts allowed only says 1. However, it's important to know how D2L defines the term attempt. For D2L, an attempt is a fully submitted quiz, not just an opened one, and there's a lot of submission buttons that students have to click in order to actually finally submit that quiz, and before they do that, they can go back in and recheck their work and edit their work and resave their work. Now, if you'd like to limit the amount of time students can actually access a quiz rather than just submitting it, there's a few roundabout ways of doing that. The first one is here on the second tab, which is the restrictions tab. And one thing you can do is set a very short start and end date window, enforcing a start date and an end date for your quiz, and perhaps only allowing your students one synchronous class period to access the quiz. Maybe it starts one day at 10:10 a.m. and ends the same day at 11:10 a.m. But what if you wanted to give students a wider time range for taking the quiz, but then wanted them to actually finish and submit the quiz within a short range of time after they start? Maybe they have a week during which the quiz must be completed, but once they start, they only have, say, 45 minutes to take the quiz. You can also set that here from the restrictions tab, and it's part of this timing area. The first thing you'll need to do is specify the time limit you want for your quiz. Here's our 45 minutes. And then click the enforce checkbox, which will also make the show clock checkbox get checked as well. Then you need to make sure the auto submit attempt button is also selected. This means that once the time limit for that quiz is passed, once the students have been in the quiz for 45 minutes in this example, students will not be able to change any of their answers or do anything else other than just submit the quiz. If you're setting this kind of time limit, though, you also may want to consider whether or not you're going to allow a grace period or any sort of late limit for the quiz. Once you have these settings the way you want them, make sure to click Save and Close to cause the setting changes to take effect.